Take a good look. I'm videoing. Parking lot. The barkless dog's making noises. So, over here, there's a monument. Big tall monument there. Split rail fence. Kind of empty here on a Tuesday in May. More split rail fence. Here's a visitor center. Sounds like a Bob White. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And then there's water out here. Here's a hint. It's not far from where we are staying. Thousand Trails, Colonial Beach, or Harbor View. Water goes all the way around here. This was once a plantation. Famous American citizen was born here, but he wasn't an American citizen when he was born. I'll show you more in a minute. This is really quite the waterfront plantation. This is called Pope's Creek. It's an estuary, and this large sort of inlet or bay here leads to the Potomac out that way. But right here, there's a nice trail coming down to the waterfront side of this plantation property. Looks like a pretty good low bank beach down there. You might have to step off a bit to get to it, but it's sandy. Pretty nice way to get into the water there. There's your typical Park Service, National Park Service. Golf cart. I would like this view. It's beautiful. There's a big deck. This is just the visitor center, so you know, not how it was. Figure it out yet? Colonial Beach, Pope Creek. Not a citizen when he was born, but became one later. Very famous. I'll let you know in a minute. The first people here. Long before the first Europeans set foot on this continent, American Indians moved through the area, hunting and gathering food. With the introduction of corn about 900 AD, sorry. They increasingly formed settlements and began farming. Seasonal hunting and fishing provided additional sources of food, and generations of Indians returned to tidal shorelines like this to fish and feast on oysters. They processed their bounty on creek and river banks, and left behind large middens deposits containing shells, bones, pottery pieces, and other items that reveal information about their lives. Prior to European settlement, there was a large population of Indians in the northern neck of Virginia, as many as 10,000. They had sophisticated forms of self-government, as well as complex political, social, and trade networks, all rooted in a deep connection to the natural world. English settlers began arriving in this area in the 1650s, and by the 1710s, there was no longer a significant native presence here. However, hundreds of middens remained as tangible reminders that generations of people inhabited this land before the settlers. Their descendants, are part of contemporary American tribes, some of whom still live in Virginia today. What Indian tribes live near you? What do you know about their history and culture? Well, this place, seen here in a sketch, or there's fish in the water, crab, canoes look like dugouts, fish traps made in the shallow water. Looks like a hammerhead shark or something there, which are saltwater, and they're spearfishing, and this is part of the National Park Service, and it's because it's George Washington's birthplace. Here on this plantation his father owned. His brother inherited it, his older brother. I guess he's actually a half-brother. And George, at 3.5, moved to Mount Vernon. That's what he remembers being raised in. But he came back here as a teenager, helping his half-brother farm the place, so he knows this place. That's it. So here we see how he was remembered from 1815 on through the 30s. 1932, they finally made this place a monument, but in 1896, they put that here. That great stone obelisk, miniature of the one in D.C. Quite a tribute. The man is a legend. So he was memorialized on his bicentennial of his birth. Bicentennial of the birth of George Washington, 1732 to 1932. There's a lot of information here about a movement to remember the days before industrialization in the 30s, you know. But if you look out beyond us here, they reproduced the farm buildings and the fencing and pastures, corrals, much like it must have been in those days. There looks like, I can't tell what's beyond us here, but there's a small fence and what may be a house out there. Anyway, plenty of stuff. Why would they have a building erected high like that? Protection? Like a fort? I don't know. It looks like animal sheds, barns. Before machinery and steam power and, you know, industrialization, electric power coming on. Let's go look. Looks like these are for smaller animals. Sheep, goats. Over there is horse stalls or mules, donkeys, cattle. I wouldn't think cattle would be kept like horses, but it looks like a horse barn. Many of the trees here are pine. Some are chestnut, dogwood. I see a little live oak, I think. Like the one in front of us there. I think that's what that is. I don't know. This one's a juniper or cedar or something. More looks like animal sheds, and this would probably be a milking barn or something. Good ventilation, hayloft above, chimney. Gets cold here. in the winters, you know, like Valley Forge. Coming up on these smaller shacks. Let's see if I can get in here. The doors look like they might open. You go in, there's a path leading in, a path leading out. Let's see. But over here, as I suspected, there's a beautiful brick home. Looks like smaller quarters for servants, slaves, and the brick home beyond. Nope, can't get in there. But they have lanterns. Old style would have been gas or oil. Oil lanterns. What do you think this stuff is? It was the big cash crop of this plantation, made more money than anything. And money allowed them to buy Mount Vernon and just give this one to the son, making more money, of course. Old hand rakes. That's tobacco drying, just leaves of tobacco. And these are little ones. I've seen them hanging in barns in Kentucky and about there. All the way from there down to the floor. There'd be 6 feet, maybe, long of leaves. And then there's a barrel with wooden rings. That's unusual. Old wagon wheel, iron rims, old wheelbarrow, all completely made out of wood, but for the few pieces holding it together. Another wood ring barrel to hold the rakes. Nope, not a fort. This simple little picket fence. From afar it looked like a big one. And what might be just chicken coops. Ventilation out the top. A ramp and a little door. Like a dog door. Right there. Couple of them. Fenced in yard. Too tight for a chicken to get through, like the split rail. I could walk right through that. So I'm thinking they're laying eggs and making chicken meals. There's another animal shed way over there. Anyway, more to come. I wanted you to see the hinges here. Interesting. Old school hinges. They go across that joint right there. Pretty cool. Down to the dock, or the pier. So how much fishing do you think they did here as a plantation? A little, but much? You think there was a lot? Plenty of fish in the water. If there were sharks, it's salt water getting up here, brackish they call it. Yeah, don't hang out here too long. Oh look, it's a bridge. Goes all the way across, and we don't have time because our dogs are kept with Heidi over there, but I wonder if it goes way out onto that bar spit. That'd be cool. Anyway, it looks like the mountains far beyond, other side of the Potomac. Maryland. Bye. Pretty good view from here of this Pope's Creek Inlet. How it goes out to the Potomac. You can hear the water. Pretty good view. And there is the replica of the old home. It's not exactly where it was. The foundation is laid somewhere else. Haven't seen it yet, but you can see it. Good two-story, maybe a basement, I don't know. Old brick, big, two large chimneys on the left. Yeah. Looks like a half pitch, 45 degree. Steep roof. Tall windows, narrow. Interesting. Chimneys on the right as well. Yeah. Quite a piece of architecture. A big plantation owner had this. Here's a map to give you an idea where where things are. The Potomac comes down through Washington, D.C. and gets very wide and large. Other rivers join it. And Prince William Forest. There's Maryland up here and Virginia down here. Owens, Dahlgren, Colonial Beach, George Washington's birthplace. We're actually staying up in here somewhere along that little piece of water. And this is Pope's Creek coming in, getting really wide, and that's what you're seeing from the viewpoint. That green area there, I don't know what that is. If that is land, I don't know. Anyway, that's a sight. Turns into Chesapeake Bay as it gets down farther and joins all these other big estuaries up there. This is Chesapeake Bay, and then the larger picture, you can see the Potomac joins this large, very large area. It's called Chesapeake Bay. Bridge that goes across there somewhere. 17 miles underwater or something. This long, long bridge anyway. Not all of us underwater. I'd like to take that one day. But here we are today at this birthplace of our father of our nation, George Washington. This is interesting stuff. So when was the War of 1812? Funny, dumb question. It was actually for 2 years, till 1815. Right. Young nation fighting against those who would have it back. They've made something called the Star-Spangled Banner Trail. You can drive through these areas, historic fields, all about and waterways, the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812. And then go there to find it. Quite a story. I went here the other day, not for history, to get some tools. And it's on this river. Say that together. I live in Tappahannock on the Rappahannock. Right. I think it's funny.